frame. We're actually live right now. I'm going to go and no, you are more than welcome to. Width is fine. I don't want,
you're not in the frame, though.
I don't want you to have to squint. Just making sure we are actually. Oh my God! Look at that! It's us.
All right.
Hey everybody! Good afternoon. Welcome to beautiful Lincoln, Nebraska. We're here at the 2017 Tire Rack SCCA Solo National Championships with Howard Duncan, Robert Christmas from the SCCA. Behind me is is it fair to call it a prototype, or is this an actual working vehicle, a proof of concept vehicle for a new Spec Autocross class, a new sort of one prep level, one make or one model anyway, Autocross class that you guys have conceptualized, built, designed, and is debuting moments after this broadcast, basically. So, Howard, I'm going to actually hand you guys the mic here, and I'm going to grab the camera. We'll do a little bit of a walk around. But before we do that, tell us a little bit about what. Obviously, this is a Toyota 86, a Scion FRS, Subaru BRZ. What was the genesis of this class?
Well, the genesis on the autocross side was when Spec Miata started becoming so popular on the road race side. I immediately started thinking about how we could potentially do this on the solo side, and that was a good 10, 15 years ago, and we've conceptualized in a variety of ways to do this, but it was just in the last year and a half to 2 years, particularly with the introduction of this car, that we thought we had the right potential package to do this, which is to have a car that could be fully usable as a street car, and by that I mean has a real trunk and space for 4 people, and you could have the comfort to drive across country and all the things that you'd want in a regular car, but at the same time have a car that it was good for autocrossing, which this car has proven to be. And we thought we could probably put together a package, a preparation package that would make the car even more fun, but limit the preparations much like they have in Spec Miata for years and years, that would have it be a fixed build to where you're not chasing the latest and greatest part every year and having to constantly go through development on the car. The idea was for those folks like myself that are more than busy enough with work and family things that we just don't have the time or in my case the skill to build a true purpose-built car. That this is a reasonably simple package for installation, and then virtually zero maintenance after that, and you can literally pump up the tires and go autocrossing in something that's great fun, and then drive home and not break your back.
So you've taken a car that was obviously already popular in the sport. I mean, this is probably one of the more prolific models already running. Was that part of the decision-making process? So there's already a bunch of these out there already that we're just going to repurpose them from different classes into here?
Yes, with the introduction of the 17 model with some upgrades from Toyota and Subaru on those cars, we looked at and said, okay, now we actually have effectively a Gen 1 and a Gen 2, and the cars have been around since, 2013, I guess, now, so that there are a number of cars in the market. They've been popular within the autocross world, and there's a lot of them available at a reasonable price on the used car market. So it seemed to provide the perfect package to move forward with a spec vehicle.
Cool. All right. Well, walk us around a little bit.
Okay, this particular, well, I'll let you get set there. This particular car belongs to Robert Christmas, who is our National Solo timing chief, as well as a mechanical engineer by trade, and he just happened to have one of these, and we got talking about it. He offered up his FRS as the guinea pig on this project, and Robert actually did the installation on it. We got the kit from Tire Rack, who is our coordinating partner on this, along with the suppliers of Coney, Eibach, and SPC, and installed the kit. He then drove it over from Toledo to Tire Rack to do testing of the car. He and Chris Harvey from Tire Rack did the testing and went through that process and discovered that the car was even better than we might have hoped, particularly with the first cut at it. Robert, you want to add something to that process?
Yeah, the process. The fear was that adjustments wouldn't be noticeable to the average guy, and I can honestly say that there's enough adjustability in there. You can make it from understeering to oversteering with easy, simple adjustments, whether it be the sway bars or the shocks, and it's very noticeable. The car was good to drive as a street car. It's absolutely great now. I mean, it turned in and everything, and it corners so flat. It's actually, and it's still comfortable to drive. The car was driven here to Lincoln, not by me, but by somebody, and it's perfectly manageable on a long-distance trip. The package in it right now, you've got the 3 suppliers Howard mentioned. So you have the front shocks and the rear shocks done by Coney. They are Spec shocks. They are sealed. They are single adjustable, but they're also by Spec. They're also shock dynoed, and they're within a range. So every shock will be within a certain range. You can get the paperwork for your shock to know that you are close to the next guy. Front and rear sway bars provided by Eibach, as well as the front and rear springs, which are also lowering springs. SPC provided on the front camber bolts, and on the rear it's got a tow kit and also a lower control arm with the camber adjustment. And right now, as the car sits, it's kind of I'll call it a baseline mid-range setup on camber and everything. It's got 2 in the front, 2.2 in the rear, but the front can go to about 3.5 easily, okay, just with what's on here, nothing special. So you can adjust yourself to your heart's content to the point where it might not even be drivable if you so desire. But I can say the good thing is if you make changes, you notice right away. One change on the sway bar, and there's a difference that you can tell just from the seat of the pants. You don't need data or anything. You can just say, oh, okay, it's not understeering anymore, that type of thing. So it is legal. It would be like, we'll call it STX Lite, because it doesn't have the expensive, Moton reservoir shocks or a tune or anything. But yes, I mean, and if somebody wanted to go to that next level, they're already halfway there, and they could go certainly upgrade. The wheels and tires right now are spec'd as far as sizes and weight, but not specific manufacturer. Okay, they're 8-inch wheels. Okay, they're 17 by 8s, 17-pound minimum weight. That way it keeps you out of the $600 a piece wheel, try to get the 10, 12-pound wheels, okay? Keeps you out of that range. Also, the tires are the standard street touring tires. They're a set size. They're 225s, and that is, so there's a ton of availability. This particular car has Hancooks on it, and which is comparable in the dry to any the Bridgestones or anything else. So
what's the package price?
The package price through Tire Rack for SCCA members is $1,900. There is a discounted package for SCCA members, part of the purchase process, and Tire Rack will describe some of this at our Wednesday night banquet, as Woody Rogers will be speaking, and their website with this specific package will go live, as I understand it, Thursday morning after he's given the description here Wednesday night. But basically it's $1,900 and change for the package, and again that's the spring, sway bars, camber adjustment, but does not include the tires and wheels. Relative to the tires, we feel that the concept of the class would be best suited to have a spec tire as well as these other parts like the shock to avoid the high cost of reservoir shocks and all those other sorts of things, but tires as well, because the concept is so that someone would not have to each year or within a year always be chasing what the latest and greatest tire is. As new tires come out, as they evolve, as there's a new brand on the market or whatever it may be. So we are going to be working with Tire Rack as well as some tire companies to see if we can put together a package for by 2018 that there be a spec tire as well as the other components on the car. We don't intend to have a spec wheel because we think that we want the variety there for folks to pick the wheel they want within those specifications.
So what's the hope for actually debuting this class? Is this something we're going to see at the Dixie Tour in March as debuting? And do you have any? Obviously, you guys have done some market research. What are you hoping for numbers to show up to some key events next year?
Well, since this is such a new concept for SCCA, I remember when we launched STR, we thought, well, okay, if we can get 10 cars to show up the first few national solo events, we'll be happy. And we became inundated with over 24 right away, right out of the box. So while that would be great with this, we just really don't know. We all think that it's a great idea, and the buzz from it has been very positive. We've kind of worked our program around the idea of hoping that by the end of next year there'd be 100 kits out there and 100 cars competing, but we may be way off the mark, either high or low, so we really don't know. But as far as running next year, it will. We just announced in the SEB town hall meeting a moment ago that it will be a supplemental class next year at all Tire Rack national solo events, and available for regions to add as a local class if they so choose, and we would encourage them to do so because we think this is a great recruitment tool for getting new folks into it and know that they can just make that one step and not have to take a little bitty step, get beat up by thousands and thousands of dollars worth of preparation and skill and all of that, but they can take a person-friendly car and add a few bucks to it and go start soloing right with the best of them. So we expect it to be a national solo supplemental class right at the beginning. At the Sound Town Hall meeting, it was asked, well, what if this is a big success? By the time we're here in Lincoln next year, could it be a national class? And the answer is yes. If the rules were adjusted a number of years ago after the STR success to allow the SEB to give a class national status sooner than it used to be. It used to have to go through a 2 or 3 year process, and with the success of STR, we've laid the groundwork that if by June, for instance, there are a significant number of these showing up at national solo events and at regional events, the SEB is prepared to make it a national class if they reach those kinds of thresholds of enthusiasm.
So with it being a spec class, there's probably not much room for contingencies there since nobody really has a choice on parts, but it sounds like any contingency you sort of front-loaded by offering a discount on the, I mean, that's a heavily subsidized package, it sounds like, to begin with at $1,900. Are there any other sort of incentives you guys are looking at with people bringing these cars out? I mean, any membership incentives or marketing incentives on that end you thought about?
We have not gone that far with it. Obviously, we're hoping that even independent clubs want to pick up on this idea, but we take it as our idea, and that's why if someone's purchasing the package, they have to become SCCA members. And while we'd like them to continue to run their independent clubs, we're hoping that part of that effort of them joining SCCA would give us a list of folks that we would then promote to come run the Dixie Tour or other events or become part of the SCCA family as well as their local club family. As far as contingencies, again, this is so new. We've been trying to keep this under wraps so we could make sure we could do the test. We could get all the details for the base class done, that we have not been giving this much outward look. So whether other folks will come along and say we want to have XYZ windshield wipers on it and we'll pay contingency, we don't really know at this point. So we're moving into totally new ground as far as SCCA Solo goes with this.
So I just want to go over. We have a couple of questions and comments here. So you did say there was a 17-pound minimum weight. So actually the RPF ones that are actually very popular in STX already are already below that weight. So it's a very popular wheel, not that's scratched immediately, but there is obviously plenty of availability for aftermarket wheels. How I would imagine a spec tire on this would be a pretty important thing. How aggressively are you pursuing a spec tire for this? Because I think one of the things people probably want to get away from is the flavor of the month tire thing.
We are planning to meet with Tire Rack next month, and we decided on a phone call a couple of weeks ago that we needed to meet face-to-face to walk through this process and and see and decide with Tire Rack as our coordinating partner on this as to what tires may be best suited to it, both from a manufacturer's standpoint who would be engaged with this process and interested in the process and have a quality product. Now, when I say quality product, since this is a spec class, we don't necessarily need for the tire to be the very best, greatest tire. As long as it's a fun tire to drive, it's durable, it's a reasonable street tire that doesn't dart all over the road, all those sorts of things. That's what we'll be looking at, as well as a price point for the competitors and how engaged that manufacturer wants to be with SCCA in terms of potentially providing sponsorship to the program, so it benefits everybody.
So, awesome. Howard, Robert, thank you very much, gentlemen. We are excited about this. Unfortunately, we have a long-term 2017 BRZ back at the office, so we won't be able to participate in this, but we can. These are, this is a $13,000 car now. This is not a high-dollar car, and with a $1,900 package plus wheels and tires, you're looking at well under $20,000 by the time you're in something like this. So we look forward to seeing a few in Dixie. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, everybody. We'll be back actually in just a few hours with the talent show portion of the proceedings. This evening, we are having a big open mic talent show here to kick off things in Lincoln, Nebraska, here at the 2017 Tire Rack SCCA Solo Nationals. We kick that off with the BF Goodrich Tacos and Talent Welcome Party, presented by the Lincoln Visitors Bureau as well. And we will be broadcasting every second of that, as long as our batteries and data plan hold out, tonight, starting around 7 o'clock Eastern or so. We got to feed a bunch of people and start getting them up on stage. So we'll make an announcement before we go live with that, and hopefully have a lot of you joining us this evening. So thank you very much. We will see you again here on Grassroots Motorsports Live, presented by CRC Industries, because I left the logo up on the thing. See you later, everybody. Bye.